Welcome to Start Using Excel. Spreadsheets for Beginners. What is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet, an organizer for numerical information and a quick way to have math and other processes done for you. Excel can sort and calculate a lot of numbers quickly, leaving you time to think about what you want to do with the results. It's a very powerful tool, but the basics can be learnt fairly quickly. The rest of this presentation will show you through the basics of Excel. An Excel spreadsheet is composed of a series of cells. What we have here are vertical columns and horizontal rows. And at every point they intersect, you have a cell. The basics of the use of the spreadsheet is the formula. If I select a cell, just click on it, and then place in that cell a formula. Let's equal the sum. We're going to add up the numbers 3 plus 2. That's the formula. If we press return or enter on the keyboard, we're given a result. We can use each cell's reference, its address, in these formula. So the address, which will appear in the name box here, D3, composed of the column name, the row number. So we can make our formula to say equal the sum of B3 plus B2. Notice how Excel highlights the references in the formula and the borders of the cells that they refer to. So these cell references refer to these specific cells, and we'll take the values from those cells to complete the sum. The answer is identical to the one we had when we were just adding the two values together. But if we change the values in the cells, as soon as I press return on the keyboard, watch what happens to the formula. The cell total changes as well. It is fixed on the references, the addresses to those cells, not specific values that are stored in them. We can also use these addresses to create a range equal the sum of, in this case, the range, which will be B2 colon, meaning until, or to B13, close brackets. So we now have a formula that says make this cell equal to a sum of, brackets, a range of from B2 colon until, or to B13. So all the values within the B2 to B13 range will be added together, and the result shown here when I press return or enter on the keyboard. You can use these ranges to sum, multiply, divide larger groups of figures than you would want to select individually by address. In the top left of the spreadsheet, you'll find this name box or address box, and whenever you select left click on a cell, Excel will show that cell's address in the box. So here is B3, B7, C4. And if I were to type in here A8 and press return, Excel moves its focus, its selector, to that cell that you've addressed in the name box. In this way, you can move very quickly around your spreadsheet. Alongside the name box, we have here the formula bar. If you were to select a cell that holds a formula, the formula becomes visible in the formula bar, equal the sum of B2, B8 as a range, and your answer remains in its box there. You can left click into the formula bar and edit the formula in that bar. You can also just select the cell, left click on the cell that holds the formula, press F2 on the keyboard, and once again you'll be able to enter the formula and edit it directly. We can also perform subtractions, minusing, taking away in an Excel formula. I'm going to do one here with a range, so I'm going to say equal the sum of, open brackets, B2 to B6, selected with the mouse and a left click, marching ants just showing me Excel's focus there. Don't worry about that for now. And I'm going to close the brackets. So first I'm going to sum all of those values together. Then I'll hit the minus key. Now you'll find that next to the equals on the usual keyboard, and it is to the top corner right of the 9 on the numeric keypad. If you're using a mobile device, it's going to be somewhere else, and you're just going to have to look for it. It's that middle line stroke. So the next cell address I want in there is the value that I'm deducting or subtracting from this value, which is in B7, and I can just press return or enter on my keyboard and have my answer 39. Just show you that formula one more time. Equals the sum of B2 to B6 being a range that is added together, closed in brackets so they're not mixed up with the rest of the formula, minus the value in B7. In order to perform a division on a set of values on Excel, you're going to be using this backstroke character. Okay, so that's our divide symbol. You'll find it above underneath the question mark on a standard keyboard and above the 8 on a numeric keypad. On mobile and other devices you're going to have to look around for it. So the set out of the formula is make this cell equal to the contents of B2 divided by the contents of B3. Okay, notice those highlights again, identifying the cell addresses we're referring to. Return or enter on your keyboard, and you have your answer. 20 divided by 5 is 4. In order to perform a multiplication in a cell, we're using the asterisk. That's the star above the 8 on the keyboard and above the 9 on the numeric keypad. Once again, other devices you'll have to hunt for it. So we say make this cell equal to the contents of B2 multiplied, there's that asterisk, by the contents of B3. Press return or enter on the keyboard to find your result. 20 times 5 is 100. Excel can insert its own functions quite quickly into cells for you, performing frequently used functions such as Autosum. Now you'll find this Autosum tool on the right hand side of the Home tab on the ribbon. To use it, select the cell, just left click in the cell where you want your result to appear, left click Autosum. Excel automatically detects relevant values, okay, without spaces in a continuous set, or you can edit the cell reference addresses given in that range to be more suitable for your purposes. When you're ready, press return or enter on the keyboard and you have your result. We can also choose a couple of other functions from this drop down arrow next to the word Autosum. Here is average. Again, Excel detects the likely range, average, and press return. Our average value is 9. We can choose to count the numbers in the set. So out of a set of 6 values, we are receiving, if I press return, 6 numbers. Okay, if I replace the number 10 there with an A character, we now only have 5 numbers in our set. It counts the numbers only, not the letters. Put the 10 back in, I'm just going to replace this now with a function under Autosum called max, which finds the highest value in a set. Again, the range is auto detected. I just press return or enter on the keyboard. My highest value is 15. And I can also choose to find the min, the lowest value in a set or series or range. Okay, there's our address again. Press return. Our lowest set of values is 5. So the Autosum tool on the home tab of the ribbon on the far right, useful, definitely.